In order to start the process of rewiring Live into Logic, we need to start from the very beginning and understand those steps. First step, having opened up Ableton Live. So if you haven't done that yet, immediately go into Applications and open up Live, or as I did, went to the dock and chose Live to open. During that process, as Live is opening up, it's installing a Rewire engine to allow Live to communicate with Logic. With that done, go ahead and close out Live and go into Logic Pro and have Logic Pro opened. And the window that you see in front of you is one that I created for this exercise. Okay. And having the two applications to communicate with each other via Rewire, we need to create an auxiliary channel strip. And this is all done within the mixer window, which can be accessed through the tab at the very bottom left-hand corner of your arranged window by just clicking on a mixer, or for those who are using a laptop, the letter, and you have that keyboard standard set within Logic, the letter X will open and close that particular window. And the two ways of creating a auxiliary channel strip is by going to Options, Create New Auxiliary Channel Strip, or by clicking the plus sign that is next to the channels you have in your mixer window. I'm going to go ahead and just click on the plus. We only need one channel strip. We're going to format it to be stereo. And in our input section, I'm going to go to Ableton Live, Rewire, Mix, Left, Right. Choose that, hit Create, and hopefully you may not have this problem, but just in case, the stereo mono button at the very bottom of the auxiliary channel strip, obviously the single circle represents a mono channel. We want the stereo, so I'll go ahead and click on that. And in the input slot, you need to have chosen Ableton Live, Rewire, Mix, Left, Right. All right, so we have Logic Pro set up. Now the next thing we need to do, open up Live. And as Live is opening up, it has recognized itself as a Rewire slave. And though it is a slave, there is a couple things that you do have control in Live that more or less plays the master role over Logic. I'll show you one example is the tempo. I click on the BPM on the upper left-hand corner of Live. Let's say I choose 135. I switch over to Logic. Now Logic has switched over to 135. And the same thing is with Logic. It's recognized as a master. I'll return it back to 120. Go to Live. And Live has returned to the original tempo of 120. And just to test it to make sure that you're getting audio out of Live into Logic, go ahead and open up any project that you have. And again, this is where the slave and master comes a little bit confusing, but nevertheless, you can go ahead, click on one of your audio samples or any of your samples that you have within your window and Live. If you hear it playing, it's a bonus. Go back to Logic, and you notice Logic will be moving along. So even though Live is the slave, you start a sample, you start, any of the various scenes or clips, Live will react, or my apologies, Logic will react. And of course, being back in Logic, I'll hit the space bar, everything stops. So that is the quick introduction to rewiring Ableton Live to Logic Pro 8.